That chat's not updating. That chat's not changing on the screen.
So have a look on.
Is that because we need to refresh it?
I think I need to refresh it. Yeah.
It does say. Good morning over there.
Yeah, hang on, I'll fix it.
We've got some wonderful internet trouble today.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it.
You actually haven't touched
right?
it.
Shockingly.
I've not got anywhere near it. It actually stopped when I was talking about my home internet. Maybe it just got.
It seems to be working on my phone.
It got jealous,
He started talking about how good your internet's home.
Yeah, and they were like,
Is that up to date?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I just checked mine on my tablet.
The tablet.
I've got it on chat filter fan funding, and there's nothing there, so I assume it's broken.
We did get a membership earlier. Someone's become a member already. Someone's become a yard to a member.
It's super chat now.
Oh, there we go.
It looks like it's
Fucking hell. Do you know what? I had nothing but dramas yesterday as well at home.
Yeah?
Different dramas, but dramas. Yesterday OBS fucked us around. Today the internet went, nah. I had to go reset the router.
Nah, bro.
That's why I fucked her from the cupboard.
Yeah?
Wasn't for anything else.
Just for pride.
Yeah, it's the cheeky pre-stream wank, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We got to have that post-nut clarity.
Well, I mean, not really, because today I picked a topic where I feel like I'm not going to talk very much.
This is a Joe topic if ever
Despite the
I've
fact
seen
that
one.
I've also had a cold as well.
We have to be careful today not to talk over each other. People have been complaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just you two don't talk, and I'll just do.
Should we just
Set
listen
me
to
off.
Joe?
Just give me a thing, and I'll.
Well, you've read the title, haven't you?
I think Tom just overpowers you all the time. Have I switched it off and on again?
Essentially.
What,
Chris,
on stream or?
and
Yeah.
it's literally what I did. I turned the router off, turned it on again, did a speed test, everything was good, went live.
Classic.
Yeah.
Fixed it. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on the Liam, Tom, and Joe show. And today, something a little bit different. We're talking about narrative stuff.
Yeah, we're a bit of a no news situation, aren't we, at the moment?
We're kind of in a bit of a no-news situation, but there is obviously a narrative arc coming soon.
I feel like this is the calm before the storm.
Yeah, there's a narrative arc coming soon, specifically because of the Emperor's... Well, I'm assuming there's a narrative arc coming soon, simply because of the Emperor's Children release. I can't imagine they just go, Fulgrim's here now. There's got to be narrative.
They'll probably get a book, won't they? Like when Angron came out, he got his own book.
There's got to be some narrative coming to explain how Fulgrim returns, what the fuck flawless blades are, all that kind of stuff that we've not had so far. And so hopefully what we're going to see is some narrative progression in the 41st millennium, and that will be part of the arc that brings in Fulgrim and brings in the Emperor's Children. And that got me thinking, because we've had this previously with Angron, as you say. We've had lots of Chaos arcs because, let's face it, the main storyline in the Imperium or in the 41st millennium is Imperium versus Chaos.
Yeah.
But Chaos seem to pretty much always lose, and even when they win, they kind of lose.
Yeah, even Abaddon's yeet into Cadia didn't really end that well, I'd argue, because Roboti Gilliman came back.
Yeah, it's like...
And then Angron was about to kill Dante, and the Lion came back.
Yeah.
It's like, you just can't win.
You can't do it. Basically, like, it's like wrestling. That's how you've got to think of it right. The best wrestlers in WWE are the ones that lose all the time.
The heels.
Right? Because they're the ones that make the other ones look good.
Okay.
The wrestlers that are the ones that get put through tables all the time, or put through chairs, or hit in the face, right? Their job is to take the hits to make the other guys look better.
Is this you advocating for your recent 40k performance?
No. Actually, I'm playing. Me and Tom had a game before this where I'm kind of testing units.
Flirt with Dark Angels.
Yeah, my flirt with Dark Angels.
And you can guess what unit he wants 3 of now.
Definitely Knights.
Yeah.
So, like the general story at the moment in 40k is that the Imperium is not having a good time.
No.
It's on the back foot.
Yeah.
It's struggling. Everything is awful. Everything is bad. Like, you can't warp jump, and if you do, you have to do little jumps, because if you go for too long, your Galliffield collapses.
That's in the scary half, isn't it?
Well, it's just everywhere.
Are you not okay in the normal half?
No.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere is bad.
Everything's bad everywhere.
Everything is bad.
I thought the other half was the bad part.
But you can't cross, like, there's only like little tiny channels that you can cross the thing. And there was the Vigilus campaign, which is about one of like the quiet spots you can do. But even in the Vigilus campaign, where Chaos was winning, right, Abaddon completely kebabs Calgar, right?
Oh yeah,
and then like absolutely wipes the floor with him, and then all of a sudden one of Calgar's sword friends goes and beats away Abaddon, and then they teleport into space. And I was like, Calgar can't beat Abaddon, and then Abaddon's like, oh no, don't hurt me, to like one little blade.
But I feel like those
guy.
two characters have the exact same problem, that they have maximum plot armor.
Yeah,
because the same thing happened when Sigismund shanked Abaddon.
Yeah,
and Abaddon was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, cool. But it's like,
I'm totally fine, no problems.
But it's like what I would have been better is that I think they should have killed Calgar. Because they've got Gilliman. They don't need Calgar.
Stick monkeys in chat. I get very upset with you.
I like Calgar though. I think he's cool.
No, I think
I prefer it if like his little friend died, whatever he's called. What's the captain guy? Sicarius.
Sicarius is cool, but Sicarius is only cool because of YouTube.
He's only recently become cool, I think.
Yeah, and so like the problem is like the Imperium keeps on getting all these cool new characters. And Chaos Space Marines are basically just the beat stick for stories. They're like, we need someone to be a baddie to come and destroy this planet, and then we need the Imperium to come and win.
Actually, I think the biggest win Chaos have had recently was in the Arcs of Omen with the Angron one. Don't know if you've read it. Have you read it?
No.
Basically,
no, I didn't read them.
He comes in with about 50,000 berserkers, destroys a planet, and Khorne turns an entire Vigilus Crusade fleet to Khorne.
Tight.
Pretty cool.
That's cool.
That was really that one I would 100% recommend.
But then like the problem is with these kind of story arcs, and the next book is like, but then they all died, you know. But then they died.
I feel like GW have kind of written themselves into some weird like loop.
Yeah.
Where they can't like they seem to be too terrified to kill off major characters.
Yeah.
Which I understand. I understand it from both a narrative perspective because, you know, you've got multiple authors who are writing multiple pieces of work for them, and the fact that someone might come in and write an incredible piece of work around Calgar might mean that they don't want to kill that character off because he's got too much about him to give them as writing material. Equally, I think that also when you look at it from the tabletop and how many Calgars do they sell, it helps them, and obviously his rules currently in 10th edition are incredibly good. I feel like they get to a point where they're like, we want Calgar to be in the story because that's why people will read it or listen to it, but yet we can't really kill him off because then that restricts us in the future. And I feel like when you look at certain other works of fiction outside of the 41st millennium, specifically where we get to play a tabletop game as well, and you look at like I don't know, a Walking Dead or a Game of Thrones or whatever, they weren't terrified to kill people off.
No.
And I think one of the reasons why I like those series so much is because often the good guy who you really got behind was then dead.
And
you're like,
it's
what?
the investment.
I think that's really, I think from a narrative perspective, I think
that's why Game of Thrones is so popular, because they were literally like, this guy's the main character of the whole season 1 and he's dead. And everyone's like, what?
You all love him, you all think he's brilliant.
He's Sean Bean.
He's had his head chopped off.
But it's like killing. I think they need to start killing people to have an impact. Like
I'd be fine if they started killing characters. Do you think like it would be all right if characters died in the story, but you could still play them on the tabletop?
Yeah. So this has happened before.
Because like in Lord of the Rings, like you can still play Boromir, can't you?
Yeah.
But he's obviously dead.
So years ago, there was a 4-year-old book, the Imperial Armor book, my favourite Imperial Armor book, which was the Amphibian Project, which is where the Amphibian kind of style terrain that Daryl does of LCA, his stuff. And in that book, it introduces the Red Scorpions for the first time, and then it introduces the Trigon for the first time, but it also introduces the D99, the Elysian Drop Troopers, which is a detachment, right? And the great thing is about that book is that it gave you rules for all these new units, the Trigon, the characters for the Red Scorpions, and it gave you all the D99 stuff. And the great thing is that the main character of the Space Marines died, but then he lived. He came back later.
But he died, but then I didn't.
He died, but then he got better. But then the entire Elysian Drop Troopers regiment gets just wiped out.
Yeah.
Right? And then basically the story is like they were the last of the Elysians, basically. But Forge World released the entire Elysian model range.
Yeah.
So you could
play
still
them. Use them, but they were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then obviously they started sneaking Elysian characters and units back in the narrative later on. But it was the first time when they gone, here's a bunch of stuff. Oh, they died in the book, but you can buy the models.
Do you think part of the problem is as well, though, that sort of everything seems to have to need to include the Imperium of Man? And I get that from a reader perspective, including the Imperium of Man in the story adds a frame of reference because we're humans. But like, I would love to see. Hey, you know Tyranids, where whenever we read a Tyranid story, they're invading an Imperium world. Yeah. What if they weren't? Yeah. What if they were attacking an Orc planet?
Oh, I'd love that.
Or what if the Tyranids were actually taking on a Chaos planet because they exist?
Yeah.
And then Angron and his world eaters are fighting off High Fleet Leviathan.
I do find it annoying because I've been reading the Angron Red Angel book, which is the most recent World Eaters one, I think. But it's obviously supposed to be about Angron and the World Eaters.
Yeah.
But they put so much time in talking about this one Grey Knight guy that's just trying to hunt down Angron because they seem to have this obsession with like always having an Imperial centered character. And I feel like you just don't always need that in a book. So there's like whole chapters dedicated to this one Grey Knight dude in the Angron World Eaters book.
Yeah.
Where it should just be about Angron and the World Eaters.
Yeah.
But he's just obsessively hunting down Angron.
But they keep doing it in a lot of books, like the Sanguinius Primarch book isn't about Sanguinius. It's about a random remembrancer that hangs around with them.
I have noticed in the Horus Heresy, there's a lot of books that are just like from the point of view of remembrances.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense.
It is cool and I like it, but I'd like it maybe not 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I know it's like... And like the problem is when, like on the top is like when the Chaos do stuff, when they destroy planets and when they get other stuff, like they always destroy planets that are unimportant. The only time it's been important was
literally
Cadia.
only been Cadia.
Yeah, and it's like so. Case in point, like if you look at the state of Death Guard now, I'd argue they're possibly one of the worst Chaos factions.
In what way?
In terms of on the tabletop,
Okay.
They're just really boring to play. They're really slow.
In terms of the actual fun of playing them, probably.
They're not fun to play with. They're not fun to play against. They do win, but they just win through just
There's way too many of them on the table.
Yeah, so like...
I'd rather they were more cool and there was less of them.
You don't want to run Mortarion because he's terrible.
I think you probably do.
He's so
cheap. Joe, he's so cheap. You can just stick him on
there.
But
he's terrible. The problem is he's cheap and he's like 5 attacks that damage 4.
Yeah.
And you're like, wee. I think compare him to the Lion who's got 8 attacks
at damage 4 and fight first 3 up Inman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, but we're talking about Mortarion who basically spent 100 years sticking it to the 500 worlds and the Ultramarines. As soon as Guilliman came back, Mortarion just invaded the 500 worlds and just ruined loads of them.
Diddled everyone.
And it took ages for the Ultramarines to get rid of them. But the problem is, it was like, they ruined our ecosystem, they ruined our economy, we've got no supply lines, everything's bad, they've infected it, billions upon trillions of civilians are all dead and turned to zombies, and there's like 24 hours there, we're all good, it's all fine, nothing's wrong.
We just press the recover button.
Why do you think they struggle with the Chaos narrative arc? Because you're very invested in Chaos narrative.
I know, and it really, but they don't want to, so... During 8th edition, they had the campaign, I can't remember what it was called, during the 500 worlds. And literally, there's a full tracker, like who's winning, right? And for the entire month, Chaos was annihilating the Imperium. It was like a 90 to 10% win ratio for Chaos, right? And then the last 24 hours, they were like, they flipped it. They Simon Cowelled it straight on us. And they were like, in the last 6 hours, we've had 10,000 game updates and the Imperium's won. And it's like,
lies.
Lies. Just let, like...
At least let us win that one.
Just let the Ultramarines lose because we need to feel like the Chaos is like...
Was that in the time of like Ultramarines peak better than everyone writing though?
Yeah, so it was 8th edition when we got all the Primaris Marines and we got before pre-Indominate. It's like and Games Workshop want Space Marines to win because new players that come in want to have the cool guys that are winning.
Yeah,
it's the Superman effect, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I don't like Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
So interestingly, it's an interesting statement that people make quite often. But interestingly, a new player coming in, especially to say like a mid or early teens lads walking into Games Workshop for the first time, he's not coming in on the back of reading 5 books.
Yeah.
He's coming in because it's cool.
Yeah.
So you can still pick up the cool Superman Space Marine looking thing and go, they're the good guys.
Yeah.
And then eventually you can dive into the lore and go, my guys are actually losing this fight. Humanity is struggling against a sea of Xenos and chaos.
Yeah.
I think it adds extra having the Imperium use. I think when Cadia broke, when they did the destruction of Cadia, I celebrated that. Not because I'm anti-Imperium, because I think that was an incredible lore progression.
It's an incredible plot development.
And then it kind of just stopped.
It just went away. There's a super chat actually which goes into
I remember when the Arcs of Omen were coming out. That was really hype for Chaos. Like we got the new I know you don't like him, but we got new Vashdor coming in. Who's like brings a whole new side to Chaos.
Yeah.
We got Angron coming back doing bits. We got a whole World Eaters Legion returning. We got Abaddon going about beating the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
And then it kind of descended.
It just stopped.
They stole Caliban, turned it into a funny robot world, and then left.
Yeah.
Because it was start for 10th edition.
But there's always stuff in the background. Like Perturabo's in that book.
So the thing is, so many of us, I think the three of us 100% here are part of this. I know Brom's quite big on reading narrative. I'm not sure about Paddy, actually. I think he likes it.
Paddy likes it.
We're very invested. And a lot of people, when you talk to them about why do you love Warhammer 40k? Why do you like the tabletop game? One of the biggest things I hear from so many people that play who are not like, I'm not talking about your hyper-competitive people who are like, I don't give a fuck what my army list looks like, I just want an army that's functional. Like, I'm not talking about those people, I'm talking about people that love the love Warhammer.
And Warhammer
generic love Warhammer. One of the biggest things they say is, I love the narrative. The narrative's cool as shit.
Yes.
But that narrative starts to lack, I think, in excitement when you get to a point where you go, oh, it's another Black Crusade.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to win.
I think that's why the Horus Heresy is generally more popular, because it's an actual story that has a start and an end, and people actually die in it. Like, important characters die in it. There's defined moments in it that are important. It's not just a never-ending spiral of things that are happening.
Yeah.
It's a huge amount of books and everything, but it does actually have a start, a middle, and an end.
But it's like, I'd like to see... So, like... I wish Seth had died.
Oh, really?
Gable Seth had died.
Well, if they're going to remove him,
If you're going to get...
if you're going to kick him out.
If you're going to get rid of him, talk about him loads, but don't really tell us that there's a model may or may not be coming in the future, right? In these situations, you go, here is a book, and it's called The Death of Gabriel Seth, right? And he fights Abaddon, and he wounds Abaddon, but he dies in the end. But it's a cool fight scene, and the Flesh Tearers, all the... Firstborn all die in this epic battle, right? And they really give him a good send-off.
Yeah.
You know, but Seth kills a bunch of Abaddon's generals
or
whatever.
He could have gone full mental mode, and then, like, the Dante has to go sort them out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something like that.
Something cool.
But instead they were like, no, we'll just put you into the cupboard of ambiguity, you know? It'll just be like, we don't really know what's going on with you. We just...
I would actually... This is going to sound like I'm massively baiting you, Joe. But I would honestly quite like it if Abaddon didn't continue as the main antagonist of Chaos. Now that we've got all 4 Primarchs back doing stuff, and if Lorgar and Perturabo reappeared as well, we could have essentially Heresy Part 2.
Yeah.
And I would kind of like it if they were just like... But removed Abaddon from the centre.
Well, but do you think we'd get... Sorry, Joe. Do you think we'd get Heresy Part 2? Because what made Heresy Part 1 so glorious was people died, people went missing.
That's what I would like to happen.
So, and I agree with you. Yeah. So if you ended up in a situation where you had sort of Heresy Mark 2 and all of the potential Primarchs that could live on the Imperium side return and all the potential Primarchs that live on the Chaos side return, and it happens and it kicks off and you get Heresy Part 2, I'm only invested in that if we go the Game of Thrones route. If we go the George R. R. Martin route of, you need to be prepared to kill off a main character.
I don't think they'd actually do it. I think the best we'd get would be like a Cold War, essentially, where we're both just like, oh, we're going to have a fight, but no one dies.
Well, the problem,
which is basically what's been happening the whole time.
Yeah, the problem they've
done... But they could
is...
then potentially kill off like a couple of the top chapter master people. So if, like, let's say if Abaddon and Calgar did actually die in this war, you'd still have the actual Primarchs fighting each other. So I think if you went like a level up in top characters, essentially, you could start maybe having scenarios where the lesser characters get killed off.
Well, the problem is they've narratively written themselves into a corner.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Abaddon's too powerful now, narratively, to die. Like his like like the whole backstory they've done is that he is the one that kills the Emperor. Like that's like his entire being, right? And I don't mind him killing the Emperor and then dying. Like in killing the Emperor, he dies at the same time. But so they've kind of done that, and then they've made all the traitor Primarchs demons.
Yeah,
which means that they can't die. Well, they could be killed, and then they just come back to life.
They get banished and returned.
Yeah,
is Lorgar a demon?
Yeah,
he's ascended. He's
they're all ascended demons.
Because I've never like seen the bit where he's like transfigured or whatever into a demon Primarch.
Yeah, they're all written as demon Primarchs now. Like even Perturabo's a demon Primarch now.
That's that might get changed though. That's like 50,
if they bring out demon Primarch plastic Lorgar, I'm gonna come
everywhere.
That's gross.
If they bring out Dreadnought Perturabo.
I don't want Dreadnought Perturabo. I just want Hench Perturabo.
But
Pete Turbo.
I don't want him as a demon though. That'd be silly.
No. Because he's my favourite Primarch. I don't want him to come out looking silly.
I want him as the one that everyone's 3D printed already, essentially, where it's just him but bigger.
Yeah, because I don't want new resin Angron version of Perturabo.
No,
because I'll be sad.
Oh, don't start. You two will upset John. You'll upset John.
He's upset me with his opinion.
I'm sorry. Out of all the Primarch models, the first Angron model is my least favourite. Right?
Same. Because it was the first.
Because it was the first, and time has not been kind to it, right? No. What's hilarious is the new Angron model goes, oh, that first one's not that bad.
Yeah, what is it? What is it with Heresy Angron where they're like, fuck it, that'll do?
Yeah, we'll make him look like an evil, witchy
he looks like a
hag.
weird crackhead.
Yeah, like
it pisses me off.
From stop animation from 40 years ago.
You've literally got like the picture of Angron trying to like fight Sanguinius or something on one of the Horus Heresy books, and it looks exactly like the 40k one.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like the 30k one.
The problem is they're like, we have to do a demon version of the Primarchs, but because we won't let people use the plastic versions, despite the fact that the plastic ones are what all the Heresy artwork is, we have to do one that's the same but different.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Fulgrim Transfigured is probably a slightly better model. I was actually sat, whilst you two were playing earlier, I was sat with both of them open on the screen. And I almost fell off my chair. I told Tom, I almost fell off my chair when I found out that Transfigured Fulgrim for 30k is £182.
You could if you went on a discount, you could literally get 2 40k Primarchs for that.
I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I was comparing the two, and I was like, I actually quite like the plastic one that they've shown.
Yeah.
I quite like it. Quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But I still think that Fulgrim Transfigured from Heresy just pips it in terms of looks.
Yeah.
I think he just looks a little bit better.
If you took like perfectly painted, perfectly built both options, the 30k one does look better. However, resin and plastic.
Yeah, I mean that's why the plastic wins it for me.
£182, £100.
But for me, the two Angrons, there's not even a competition.
There's not a competition in my mind. And Angron is literally my favourite character of the whole of Warhammer. And I wouldn't even want the new 30k one.
No.
I would take the little one over the big one.
So if we pull it back on topic, do you ever think that we're gonna get to a point, narratively speaking? Well, you have to pull his arm out so I can see your beautiful eyes, Tom. Oh. Do you ever think we're gonna get to a point, narratively speaking, where they're gonna let Chaos have some pretty substantive victories akin to the Fall of Cadia in the narrative? Because I feel like Games Workshop are going to go one of two ways here. I think they're going to go down the route of let's give them some time in the sun. And this year is, let's face it, is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Look at these 4 limited edition codexes that are coming out. We've got Emperor's Children coming back. This is the time to go, here's some powerfully strong Chaos narrative.
Yeah.
Or the other route is they continue this weird story loop where Chaos invades something, there's a big fight, Imperium wins. Chaos invades somewhere else, there's a big fight, Imperium wins. Which I think a lot of people out there, I don't know if chat, if you would agree, are kind of getting a bit tired of that cycle.
The problem is like Chaos do win some fights, but it's in Bumsville. It's in the middle of nowhere.
They win on like Delta Minor 12.
Yeah,
Lehman Russ is
11.
He's on absolute crack.
Is he blind?
He must be.
Yeah. Just be.
Josh, what I suggest you do right now, get off the chat, right? Phone up fucking 111, get yourself an appointment. I think you've got cataracts.
Yeah.
Get them checked, get your
Should
eyes
have
checked.
gone to Specsavers.
Yeah, get your eyes checked, man. I think you might have cataracts.
It's just bad. It's just all bad.
I just don't like him in any way.
Either that, or wipe the cum out your eyes and have another look.
Yeah.
I love you, Josh.
What I want, right, is them to full double bluff Space Wars.
Cornator knows what it's on. Right. He's clearly the one.
His name is Cornator.
He has the true dream.
Yeah. What I want is like the double bluff of Space Wars. They say you're getting Lehman Russ, and then he comes back and he's corned Lehman Russ.
I kind of don't know. They would never ever do that, but I'm here for it.
There is a huge part of me that wants massive werewolf Lehman Russ to come out.
I'm so torn between that because I really Space Wars is probably my favourite Loyalist chapter, but I fucking hate all the wolf bullshit they have. I love the Viking stuff.
Yeah,
the werewolf stuff is cool. But all the random people riding dogs can fuck off.
That scaling is so shit as well.
They're even smaller than Firstborn Marines.
Yeah.
Like the ones riding wolves. Do you think Thunderwolf will survive?
I think Thunderwolves are probably, current iteration, one of my least favourite ever 40k kits.
They might be my least favourite in terms of Space Marines.
Have you got a least favourite, Jay?
I actually like the Thunderwolf model.
Oh, mate, what are you on?
Right. The problem is, right, and I'm an edge case here, right?
You do edge.
He likes an edge.
Because my problem is I convert stuff.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with the Space Wolf range in general. I'm like, that's really cool.
I love
if you replaced all the plastic upgrades with the forge-rolled resin kits.
Yeah, agreed.
That's fine. And I like the Thunderwolves once you've converted the guys on top to look less terrible.
But I think that's the thing, though. I don't want to have to convert every fucking model.
It's just embedded in me.
I know you love converting. I think I'm similar to Liam. I can't be bothered.
I'm like, I want to add 15 assault intercessors to my Raven Guard.
Yeah.
And the first thing I need to do with that is then go to Forge World and buy Raven Guard helmets.
But right, let me be clear, right? I have no problem with kit bashing at all. And I have no problem with
kit bashing.
I have no problem with people taking models and going, I want to make them look my own. I want them to fit Raven Guard.
Yeah.
I'm making the choice to kit bash. But let's be fair, assault intercessors are in a situation whereby if myself or Tom, I don't particularly like kit bashing. I'm not very good at it, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tom just can't be bothered or if he's not very good at himself. But people like us buy a box of assault intercessors and you build that kit with no extras and it looks good.
Yeah.
Right? So I've got no problem with that kit then. Does it look Raven Guard? No. If I put it in Blood Angels, does it look Blood Angels? No. I need to buy upgrade sprues or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But it still looks like a functional kit. Thunderwolves without kit bashing look shit.
If out of the Space Wolf range, I love Harold Deathwolf. I love that model, right?
He's not surviving though. He's fine cast.
He's fine cast. He's gone. He's out.
You know how we were saying
get a new model.
Some characters need to die, and how the Space Wolves half their range is fine cast.
Yeah, he's not.
Do you think some of them might die?
I think
Space Wolves players about to be angry.
There's a lot of dead Space Wolves coming.
Harold's going. Who's the one on the giant hamster wolf, Chubby Wolf?
Canis
Wolfborn.
Yeah, Canis Wolfborn.
He might get a new model that might. His wolf is just like biscuits. He just sits there, right?
He's like the pug of the wolves.
Yeah, there's clearly another Space Wolf that's been like
starved,
feeding this giant wolf when no one's looking. You know, it's like he's equivalent of like when you go into a pub and there's signs everywhere saying "Please don't feed the dog."
Yeah.
And it's like wheezing in the corner.
Huge dog in the corner.
Yeah, like those terrible. I don't mind the plastic kits. I don't like the Wolfen kits.
I prefer Wolfen to Thunderwolf.
I dislike both.
I dislike both, but actually, you know what? I prefer the concept of Wolfen to Thunderwolf.
Yeah, okay.
But I dislike both of the design choices.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah, so Wolfen are a good plan, poorly executed.
Because Wolfen should be like Death Company, realistically.
Did you see the original Metals?
No.
Right? The original Metals were great. Yeah. They were just guys in power armour with their arms gone, they got hairy hands and they got hairy head, and it was fine. It was great.
That sounds much more cool.
Right? It was peak 90s hand sculpted Space Wolves. But like, if you look at the Soulblight Gravelords range, right, with the wolf people, the werewolf people look incredible.
They look cool,
right? Like, just take that design aesthetic and put it into Space Wolves.
No, I mean, yeah, you could. If you want to lean into the werewolf vibe, you could. But I don't want to lean into the werewolf vibe. I do agree with Tom. I want the Viking vibe.
Yeah. But I don't mind the werewolf vibe.
I just
don't want people riding wolves, especially Space Marines riding wolves.
Well,
what are we thinking here? And if they redid the Thunderwolf cavalry,
comes off now, Jake.
They'd have to be fucking huge.
You've got a man riding around on a flying unicorn pig.
Chaos gets a free pass.
It's got a giant unicorn pig that he rides around on.
But the man on the metallic unicorn pig is in scale.
Yeah,
and also a big robot demon engine. I imagine could carry a Space Marine on its back. A slightly large wolf, I don't think could carry a Space Marine.
But the slightly large wolves themselves are a bit weird because their heads aren't scaled correctly. Yeah. Everything's just off. Everything's off about them.
If they resculpt it, it'll be fine. But I reckon, I don't think you're going to get new wolf in. I don't think you're going to get new Thunderwolves either. Right?
No.
Because Dark Angels kept Black Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Black Knights are okay, actually, as a kit.
Yeah, little baby
Space
Wolves,
Knights, I'd be more looking at like new Wolfguard Terminators, new Logan Grimnar, maybe like a new other.
I don't think you'll get new Logan either.
I think you will,
because him on shit slay.
This is the thing. Get rid of.
What have they done with Space Wolves?
They were just like, should we just give it to the intern for this chapter?
Yeah.
It was like, I just like dogs.
Yeah,
everywhere, all the time.
I'd like to see new Long Fangs. I always like the idea of long fangs.
They're the gun ones, right?
Yeah, they're the Devastators.
I don't know though, because I feel like you just got Eradicators for that.
But so let's say for sake of argument, if we put it back on topic, let's say for sake of argument,
this is so off topic.
I'm going to link it now.
Yeah.
Tedious link. Let's say for sake of argument, they do bring back Leman Russ as Demon Leman Russ, for example.
That'd be so cool.
Does Chaos then continue to lose with Demon Leman Russ?
Yeah.
Or do they make the whole story arc about him and actually he's pretty terrifying?
Are you saying Demon Russ that has fallen to Chaos?
Yeah.
Well,
or just scary.
I reckon if they do
Demon
it,
Russ fallen to Chaos.
I reckon if they do it, they bring back Demon Russ, who hasn't fallen to Chaos but has been mutilated by the warp, and then the Imperium are like, what do we do?
Yeah, how do we?
He's a demon.
How do we deal with it? Because that's what's happened to Korax in the warp. He's literally turned into a cloud of birds.
Yeah, so well, he can transmute into many things, but he is basically giant angry bird man. Yeah. He's like evil crow Batman.
He has become Le Pigeon.
Yeah, and it's like what things are when the Wolfen first appeared, in 7th edition, there was that big psychic storm that Magnus started, wasn't it? Because they thought the end times was coming, and like the Wolfen were just appearing everywhere, like all over the galaxy. And just attacking everyone, right?
Yep. Indiscriminately.
The Grey Knights and the Inquisition had a field day.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone was like, Space Wolves, Chaos now. And all the Dark Angels players were having a great time laughing at
Ironic.
them. And it was great. And the idea of that happens again, you get a new Wolfen kit, but then you get Wolfen Leman Russ, who's like, just doesn't know anything. He's just a murderer, just going around murdering everything.
I think that would be cool, but I think we're more likely to see old man Liam Russ, like Odin style.
Yeah,
which I'd be all about, by the way.
Which I think if I could choose one way they go with it, I'd rather just go in full Viking.
Yeah.
Because that's the cool bit.
Yeah.
That's the bit I'm interested in. If they do that, I'm signing up for Space Wolves.
And then they replace the sleigh with like a longboat.
On wheels, on a hoverboat.
They just make
on wheels.
They make it even bigger.
Yeah,
it's a full-sized Viking longship.
Yeah,
with Logan on the front, just going like, yeah. I'd be here for that.
Yeah, I'd like that. But like, my biggest problem is with Chaos is that I just don't. The Games Workshop don't know what to do with them.
No,
I agree.
I agree with that.
Because Space Marines are the poster child, and they're the ones that get all the cool stuff because they're the ones that
ones that make money.
They're the ones that make money, and you sell the new things to. And they've gone on this new Chaos aesthetic, which is like they're like Firstborn armor, but with loads and loads of trim. And then there's just been this emergence of people like, people really like the heresy stuff. Let's just slip some heresy stuff in, but we'll get the heresy stuff and put loads of trim on it.
I like the trim.
And then a lot of Chaos players are like, but I don't want the trim.
I like the trim.
A lot of the Chaos players are like, I want their cool heresy people with a little bit of trim, and I want them to be cool and effective and efficient. And
but I feel like you need the Chaos stuff in there though. You can't.
Oh yeah, like
I don't think you want to be just Space Marines painted red.
Yeah, like I don't like the tentacle aspect of.
No, me neither. But obviously
Chaos.
That's a big part of some of Chaos.
Yeah, and it's like.
What do you mean the tentacle aspect?
Like
possessed.
Like you've got a space marine with a tentacle arm,
like body horror,
like the Death Guard have got like a little wiggly one that comes out their belly button, stuff like because the new possessed are beautiful models. I really really like them, but I prefer the Gal Vorbak from Heresy because they're just like space marines that are just uber bulked with like a big claw arm kind of thing.
That's what I like.
I don't mind that, but when they go a bit too tentacly, I'm a bit like,
I don't mind it too much.
The possession stuff.
I think it depends what aspect of chaos you want to lean into, doesn't it? Because I like World Eaters, so I prefer like just basically a normal marine, bit bigger, bit stronger, redder,
angry,
some stuff going on,
just stacked,
big bro,
stacked like with the nails,
and obviously the bunny ears.
Of course, the bunny ears.
I love the bunny ears.
When I started building mine at home, they've all got the bear heads though.
Really?
All with the nails hanging out.
Do you not like the bunny ears?
I love the bunny ears, but I also like having all the nails hanging out.
I do like that. I've gone like 50-50 with it.
And also, I find the Games Workshop really struggles sculpting chaos heads. They all look like they're straining for a shit.
But they just look angry. I think they've done quite well with most of them.
Or that guy from Britain's Got Talent. That guy.
Do you think that's the case? So you've made a statement before that says that the World Eaters Berserkers kit is one of the nicest chaos kits you've ever put together.
It's incredible.
And then we've now seen on the LVO releases on the website the Emperor's Children stuff. Do you still think they're struggling with chaos heads and sculpting? Because I think it's got so much better, so much better.
No,
you're not a fan?
I'm helmets. I've always been. Probably I'm biased because I'm like, you're gonna wear a helmet into battle.
I don't think that counts.
More.
I don't think that counts when you've got the butcher's nails in your brain, mate.
Yeah, but it's like
Berserkers are less bothered about helmet safety. I find.
But like I said, like converting, I'm always like, it's off to Forge Web we go. See what helmets are available, put them on, make them look a bit more sexy. A
bit more sexy.
Joe
knows more than the 40k sculpting team.
Yeah, clearly.
Some of the models
I would actually agree with him on some of them, to be fair. If we look at the Shield Captain.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about that. The Votan one.
Yeah.
The Votan heads are great, actually.
Oh, they?
I love the Votan heads.
I don't like them at all.
They look a bit weird.
They're just little gumpy dwarf guys in bandanas.
Do you feel represented?
We asked a question last night on stream. Is there a 40k army that you would flat never collect?
Ooh.
I would never collect.
One that you would never collect.
Asked you this. Got to be Orcs, isn't it?
See,
no, because he wants Hawks.
I want to do the pig army.
Oh,
I don't want to do any other aspect of that army.
You just like squigs, basically.
I just like squigs. Yeah.
Do you reckon you can make an army of just squigs?
Yes.
Just get rid of all the rhinos. No.
You'd need the big chariot thing with the rhinos as well.
I like the pig. But
they are squigs.
Yeah. What I would do is that I'd have the boys part of it would be the squig hoppers from Age of Sigmar. So all my boys would just be replaced with a big herd of squigs kind of thing.
Okay, so Orcs would do under very specific circumstances.
I wouldn't be playing that army to win games.
Would you do GSC? Have you done GSC?
I did GSC. I wouldn't do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do the version that's good at the game.
Okay.
Would you do Muscle Beach?
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I do 30 Gene Stealers, 30 aberrants with the characters, maybe some bikes and buggies and stuff. Like I don't want to paint the hybrid stuff because the neophyte stuff. Because
I think the hybrid stuff is cooler.
They look cool.
I really like the Rock Rider.
They look cool, but they're 10-point models with more detail on them than a Space Marine hero.
Yeah.
True.
And as someone who's already painted 60 Acolyte hybrids, 60 neophytes, I'm like, never again.
Yeah, so I'm going down this weird path at the moment where I'm getting really into painting. I've watched Friday, when I sat at home fucking feeling sorry for myself, I sat and watched hours of like heavy metal style painting content, getting really into that moment. And I look at some of the GC Cult models and think I'd love to do a really nice job on a single on one model. I think I could really enjoy painting it, but a squad of 20, nope,
no,
never.
Not on your line. I mean, I find it hard enough painting like a fucking cultist squad.
So Joe Doyle says Admech and T-Suns, done both of them.
Have you?
And I really,
you've done Admech.
So I really like our Admech army, and I would love to add to it. in very specific degrees of big angry robots.
Yes.
And that would probably be it.
If they got new robots,
Because all my favourite stuff, Rust Stalkers and Infiltrators are my favourite models. Like the units. The horses I absolutely love. I'd put more horses in. They're just not a great fun army to play. I've painted the T-Sons army, and the problem is, right, I've done nearly every army in the game.
Tau?
I did Tau at one point. And the thing is, though...
He used to paint for someone else, and if something got good, he had to paint it very quickly.
The problem is, right, and you've experienced it with me, it's like, once I've done it, I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah.
So, you took the piss out of me. I was like, yeah, I did all right with demons. Don't need to worry about them anymore. But I'm going to add more demons, because there's units that I want. But
I'm running out of armies to think of that you haven't done.
Is there an army you would never collect?
Any elf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can fuck off.
Any at all?
Any Drakari, any version of Eldar, anything Slanesh.
Slanesh, including, you would never do Emperor's Children?
Nah, I don't like him.
Oh, really?
Really don't like Fulgrim.
I love the Emperor's Children stuff coming out.
This is purely from narrative point of view. I have no idea if it would be fun to play him or not.
I love the Flawless Blades, Lucius, Fulgrim.
I think they look cool. I just hate Emperor's Children as a faction.
Oh, right, okay.
From the lore point of view.
So the lore is enough for you to not want to play the faction?
That's why I don't like Eldar. It's not because of rules or anything. Obviously, they've got very good rules, but I just hate Eldar in the lore.
So it's not even this. It's not the aesthetic.
It's not the aesthetic or the playstyle. It's just based off lore. I have to really like an army's lore to want to play them.
That's interesting.
I also wouldn't do Thousand Sons because I don't like the magic stuff.
I absolutely despised Emperor's Children until I listened to Fulgrim 15 years ago.
See, that's one of the reasons why I don't like them. Is because I've read Fulgrim and I've read Angel Exterminatus.
Yeah.
And they're both semi-main characters in both of them.
Yeah.
I just absolutely hate them.
And it's I didn't really like Night Lords until I listened to Prince of Crows, which is an ADB book, and I was all in on them. There are books where you listen to it, and I'm like, depending on how they're written, because I did like them. It's I never really liked Angron, but I did enjoy Betrayer.
It's such a good book.
So this is the frustrating. This is the frustrating thing, Joe, with our topic is that it is evident that they can write good chaos narrative because they have.
They can do an amazing job.
Because there's so many good chaos narrative books out there. I'm reminded of Talon of Horus and Black Legion by Aaron Dempsey as well. You rave about the Night Lords trilogy. They've done some incredible chaos narratives out there. They do some really good stuff. So I just don't understand why they always have to lose. I don't think that needs to be the case.
I would argue that, at least since I've come back into the hobby, they have been winning more than they used to.
Yes.
Because it used to be cartoon villain levels of I'll get to you next time, Calgar.
Yeah.
It's like the chaos in the books are really good in one specific area, and they overly dominate on one specific thing, but it's massively unimportant and doesn't really.
I think a problem they have had as well is they're the least organised faction of all time for the most part.
Yeah.
Where it's just Abaddon holding a bunch of them together by his nails pretty much, barely holding them together to get them to do something. And then when they do something with Abaddon, it's 1% of the power of the Imperium that he has.
Yeah.
So it's he'll get one job done, fine, but then there's the other 99% of the Imperium that's still just, knocking about.
Okay, interesting. Right, well, the wonderful people in chat have also been giving their opinions on this as well, Joe. And there has been a couple of people gifting memberships. We're up to a total of 10 gifted memberships. If you want to support the channel, you people who are doing this already are incredible. If you want to support the channel, you want to continue supporting the work that we do here, the best way to support us is with members, gifted memberships and super chats. So if you've got a membership, you're amazing. If not, you can just hit that join button, pick a perk level. We're adding more stuff to the perks as well. We've got an Ask Anything section for the Huskars nowadays, which people are actually using in Discord as well.
Yeah.
And you guys are actually responding too.
I like the different vibe that some of them have. Where it's Joe's one, they're what food do you like?
Yeah.
And then it's Paddy's one is what would you take in this army?
So there's an Ask Anything section for the Huskars now in the Discord server. So hit join, pick a level and join us. If you've already got a membership, you can gift memberships to other people. That gives them a Skull tier membership, which gives them access to most of the Discord server. They don't get access to the Jarl's Council, the Huskars Hall or the Thane's Throne Room. You need to be those relevant levels to get get access to that. Or if you want to talk about the topic, want to give us something to talk about, if you want to put your opinion across, stick a colourful postcard in, hit that super chat button, pick a value, type us something, and we will read out and talk about whatever it is that you've put in. And Joe does that very well. He talks about it quite a lot. Did you want to read them out today? Or do you want me to?
I don't mind. You always complain when I read them out.
No, I don't.
You say you complain that I take too long on them.
You. Right. I'll be honest with the chat. Okay. Different colours of super chats obviously mean different values.
Yes.
Right. So what I like to try and do, if I can, is if it's pink or red, for example, they're going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
They've spent a lot of money to put their point across. If it's like the tealy blue because it's less than a £5, well, it's the lowest level of super chat. I'm going to pay attention to you because you've donated, but I'm going to give you maybe a minute or two, and I'm going to give you an answer. Cool, but thank you so much. You're amazing. But that's how that works.
Yeah, but what if someone asks a comprehensive question on like a yellow or blue one, and then in like pink and red, and they're like, I like beans.
And
You're
Joe's
like,
the kind of person who's like, cheers to the red, good, next one. And then a simple question about the law and a 199 super chat, and he'll talk for 45 minutes.
Yeah, but the people that do the red, the big ones, don't tend to ask questions.
No, granted, and that makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
I think like you just have certain buttons. If you hit them, you'll just go.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, people know how to trigger me and send me.
Yeah. Right? If you say anything bad about Abaddon, you will set him off.
It just... Also, there's a narrative thing about Abaddon and Chaos in general, right? Is they're always like... They're really under-equipped, you know, like they're dying, like Space Marines are really difficult to replace, like everything's really difficult. Angron turned up with 50,000 berserkers. It's like, where the hell did he find those?
Well, they've been recruiting more people over the last 10,000 years.
Yeah, it's like they're like everything's really different. It's like the Eldar thing, Eldar dying race. Like Chaos is a very similar thing. Like they're Eldar's much better equipped,
though,
but like their numbers are dwindling, and they're like, oh yeah, but they found some more. It's all right, you know, just shoehorn. A chapter fell to Chaos, but no one cares about that chapter.
There are still a lot of Chaos Space Marines running around, and with the World Eaters one, the reason there was so many had come together is because Angron came back out, triggered this huge beacon essentially, and literally every World Eaters or Khorne Space Marine in the galaxy was like, we're going there.
Yeah.
And so literally all of them grouped together.
Like
right, Daddy's here, let's go.
Yeah. Daddy's here.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they all have really bad daddy issues.
Yeah. And what I find, like, in the books, like Arcs of Omen, like, stuff, and there's a couple like, Black Library books where there's this huge, monumental, galaxy-changing levels of lore that they, like, just slip in there without even caring and then do nothing with it.
Yeah, like in the Arcs of Omen with Angron, Khorne literally got off his chair and split open a planet. First time that's ever happened.
Carl says Joe talking about Joe tangents led to a Joe tangent.
Yeah, he's not wrong. You got me monologuing.
And
that's a goat comment.
Yeah. Maybe.
But it's like...
I love it though.
I'm here for it.
It's always good.
It's like these huge, like, galaxy-changing things that Games Workshop just create and just.
But that's cool. That means the narrative actually moves. So
yeah,
it's not just them pissing about.
But then they just do nothing about it for ages.
True, but that's because they're scared.
Right? They released. So I was talking to someone the other day about their list reading the Lion book.
Oh, the Lion in the Forest or something.
Yeah.
The Witch
Lion.
Wardrobe.
Yeah, the
Lion,
Wardrobe.
the tree hugger. You know, the sleeper in the forest, or whatever it's called. The
diddler in the woods.
Yeah, it ends with him meeting Dante.
Yeah.
Right? But there's nothing to fill the gap between...
There is, though.
Dante. Is it Arcs of Omen?
That's literally what leads into the Arcs of Omen.
But the problem is, they released that book, and then there's no way of getting hold of it ever again.
Just buy it when it comes out.
But Arcs... But I didn't.
He's got you there,
Aren't they like all in that room?
I think there's a
I
couple.
don't know. We have the Arcs of Omen books, do we?
I don't know. I have to have a look. I've started organising some of the books earlier because I'm trying to organise.
Because
it's also all on the Wikipedia.
I'd also rather tidy up behind my two children than you two, quite honestly.
And like I just wish they just release a book. that someone can read to me.
That would be cool.
That's the important part.
I've now realised what the wall is here. I had to read the Arks of Omen myself, and Joe was like, "No,
I'm with him though.
I would have preferred it to be an audio
I've got
book.
this real old man syndrome where the moment I sit down and try and read a book, like rules and stuff, I find, but a storybook, right?
Fall asleep
Immediately.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, fair.
Same.
Immediately.
I'll sit there with narrative stuff. I've been reading the narrative Eldar stuff in the Codex lately in bed, and I sit there and I'm like, what the fuck? I was wide awake when I was sat here. And then the second I start reading the book.
There are YouTube channels that have like essentially summarised what's happened in the Arks of Omen and done lore videos on it.
I probably should, because like last night,
which are quite good.
Last night, my partner, her friend came over and they had their kids. So I cooked dinner and went upstairs. I was like, good, I'm going to go and sit in bed with my book.
Joe time.
I took the Guard Codex. I was like, I'm going to read the lore on the Guard Codex. 10 minutes sleep.
Yeah.
I'd have thought you could read the whole thing in 10 minutes.
Nah, it's because it's quite the narrative and the background and the lore section of the Guard book is really, really good. I don't know what's in it because every time I try and read it, I immediately get drowsy. Yeah, I need to be read to like a granddad.
Yeah. I've got 5 or 6 pages into the Eldar stuff so far, but I get very fatigued, very tired when I do it. So I have to break it down. Ian Clark, welcome to Jarl tier member.
What are you talking about?
We will start that giveaway very soon to end at the end of the month. But thank you so much for becoming a Jarl tier all by yourself before the stream started, you legend.
Very angry bird is his icon.
Lehman Russ, thank you for the 10. Thank you so much for the 10, despite your terrible take on Angron.
No one's perfect.
Quick question for Joe's Day Out. Do we get extra points if we bring a banner for every single unit we've got?
Only if I judge it to be good.
If
it's bad, no.
Well, what do you mean by... How can it... Surely if every unit's got a banner, that's already a good thing.
Well, no, this might be a really terrible conversion.
You mean like sticking right-handed hands on left-handed Sanguinary Guard?
Oh dear.
Who's done that, Jay?
Paddy.
I know.
It looks cool though.
You have to really look hard to see
don't look
the
at
weird hand on that side.
Yeah, but
Don't look that hard, okay?
Yeah, but it really annoys me because I did the same thing. I converted banners from old kits, and I managed to do it with the right hand.
Well, do you want a medal?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
It will be in the post.
Yeah, but Paddy's the one that wins the painting competitions.
Not with those.
I'm not bitter.
No.
Yeah, but it's like I've seen conversions.
It's probably
of
fair to
banners
say though he's put more time into each model.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he's edge highlighted them to start with.
Huh?
He's edge highlighted them to start with.
Yeah.
Believe for him. But yeah, if it's a terrible conversion, I'll smash it.
He'll just have the judge hammer with him.
Yeah.
So it's a real lottery for you then.
Yeah, he's playing a dangerous game.
Either he's going to love it and you get extra points, or he's going to hate it and it'll get smashed.
I will accept a humble back banner. I do love a back banner. They need to come back, but you don't get extra points.
A humble back banner. Like Azrael's got a great back banner.
Yeah.
A lot of the Phoenix Lords have got great back banners
Eldar
too.
really love a back banner, don't they?
What I don't like
Very high elf.
is overly complicated
fucking
molded
high elves.
back banners and
I think High Elves is the reason for my elf hate.
yeah. It's
So
like,
I played the old world with dwarves, like when it was first coming out. It was a painful time.
yeah, I like the banners that have got like the circles and the squares and the checkers on it and like a but once they're like the Blood Angels ones are the worst and the Grey Knight ones are terrible where there's like Space Marines fighting demons and there's
cool
fire
as shit, what are you on about?
it looks really cool. It looks great. Yeah. Painting them was awful. I didn't enjoy painting them. When I see them I'm like, oh.
Have you painted the new Heroes of the Chapter geezers? The what are they called? Company
heroes, yeah.
Yeah, have you done them?
Yeah.
Was the banner right on that?
The banner's fine on them.
Yeah.
It's great. But it's like the Blood Angels ones weren't great. Azrael's one's a bit weird.
It's great.
Oh, they look great. Yeah. But the problem is that when I paint for the channel, it's more about speed
I know.
and efficiency. Right? Because I don't have a huge amount of time to get the stuff done. So when I'm like smashing through an army and then it comes to a screeching halt because I've got to spend 2 hours painting one banner, I'm like, ugh. Whereas I'm like, the best banners are the banners with nothing on it.
I'm literally the
I'm
opposite.
complete opposite, yeah.
I'm with nothing. Like, it's a because then I can just go, I'm going to find the sickest transfer ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a sticker on it.
Like that guard one.
The guard one is possibly my favourite banner I've ever done. It's so simple, but I say to myself, I did it really well.
You have done a good job.
And it looks sick as fuck.
You've done a good sticker.
It's my favourite one.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, that freehand's incredible. Everyone's like, that's the best freehand. The freehand that sticker is so good. It looks like I painted it on.
Took a second there, didn't it?
Fucking hell, Tom. You've done a good sticker.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So you got about.
Unironically though, that would be really difficult to put on.
I love this working group.
It was a nightmare to put on as well because you have to cut them and bend them specifically to how.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's for another day.
Golden Demon, right? Score you sometimes better on putting on transfers than freehand.
Really?
Yeah, because if you put the transfer on super clean, super nice, doesn't look like it's a transfer, right? But if you try and freehand and it looks shit, they're like,
well, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you freehand it looks shit.
If you've just drawn like a stick man on or something,
obviously,
fair
if
enough.
the freehand's incredible, then obviously you'll score more points than the transfer.
I'd say surely, even if the freehand is quite good, it should score more than a sticker.
Sometimes, but then the problem
surely.
Because like putting on transfers is a skill in itself. The amount of people that go, I never put transfers on, can't do it.
I think there's a technique you learn, and once you've learned it, you're pretty set on like pretty much any transfer.
The hardest thing about transfers is how to get it to match that section of the armor to match the rest of the model again.
Well, the color.
Well, because what happens is, say you paint a Space Marine, right, and you want to do the shoulder pad a transfer, so you have to gloss varnish it. You put the transfer on and then you varnish it. But it doesn't matter what the varnish is. The finish on that shoulder pad will then always be different to the rest of the model.
Have you used the?
So you have to varnish the whole model, and then that changes the entire finish of the model itself as well.
Have you used the micro set, micro cell?
That's what I use. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah.
And then
that's what I use.
The best thing to do.
But if you just do like the matte gloss thing afterwards, I find that works pretty well.
Yeah, it does good stuff.
Yeah.
What I tend to do is I use a cotton wool bud with microsole on it once it's like semi-dry to like really squish it down.
Fair.
Pro tip.
I don't really use.
And don't be afraid of cutting transfers.
I used to avoid transfers at all costs, but then I watched like a YouTube video of someone explaining the microcell matte varnish thing afterwards. It's super easy now.
The worst transfers are round ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're not designed to fit on a curved surface like a Space Marine shoulder pad.
Yeah.
So you have to cut them in a specific way so that they fold. Yeah. That's a whole lesson.
Thank you, Stick Monkey, for the 5. This super chat serves no purpose than to celebrate my shiny new silver membership badge. Celebrate with me, Joseph. Tell me I'm a good boy.
What's his silver membership badge?
2 years, maybe?
Yeah.
I think 2 years.
I would be proud of him until I found out that he's doing Tau.
Or was it 3 years for silver?
You didn't Tau?
He's doing Tau, Sean.
You hate Tau?
I don't. Right? No.
Is it because of
no, because I called him a hypocrite. Because the amount that he goes on about Eldar.
Yep.
Right.
That's fair.
How it's terrible and they're knife-eared jobbies and all this stuff, and then it turns out he collects Tau. And I was like,
take Tau
they're
over
the
Eldar.
worst Tau players.
You're on thin ice, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
I
don't really like either, to be honest.
What is silver, Sean? Can you tell me? I can't remember what it is. Is it 2 years or is it 3 years? Thank you, anyway, you legend. Thank you, Zodiac, for the 5. Sicarius has always been cool. They need to. Sorry, yes, Sicarius has always been cool. They need to elaborate on his story as he leads Gulliman's Guard now. And Games Workshop need to reprint his older books.
Didn't they make him a Treyarch? So basically, he used to be.
Which one's Treyarch?
The Treyarchs are
Apart
basically
from the ones that made Call of Duty.
So Treyarchs are basically
Yeah.
So obviously Gilliman didn't be around. Calgar was in charge, right? And then you had the separate chapters because Gilliman turned up and he was like, the 500 worlds is a bit hard for us to look after.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So what he did is he split all of his company, like he had a bunch of company leaders that he was like, you're my Treyarchs. And then he was like, you're in charge of this part of the 500 worlds and you're in charge of this part and you're in charge of this part.
Is there 3 of them?
there's more.
Oh, okay.
There's like 5 or 6. But at the time, he made Kato Sicarius his like regent, like his little helper.
Okay.
But I think he sent him off to go and be a triarch, and his helper is a Raven Guard.
Oh yeah.
Who's cool as shit.
Why are Raven Guard only ever cool when there's only one of them?
I don't know. Because this one's like, because it is in the Dawn of Fire series, he's talking to Gilliman and talking about a bunch of other people talking to him, and basically like that he's like wisecracking jokes and being really sarcastic. And they're like, "You're not like the rest of your legion." He's yeah, because everyone else is really depressing and boring, and I just choose not to be like that.
Everyone else is sad.
Yeah, he's a great Raven Guard character.
Yeah, fair.
So,
I think Kato Sicarius needs a new model, definitely.
He needs a new model. I think
he
needs
like
cool.
a book or something about what he's up to now. Probably would be good.
Yeah,
because I have no idea.
Where he rides around
pretty much all of my Kato Sicarius knowledge is from Emperor Texas Speech.
Yeah, where he rides around on a camel.
Which is great, Kato Sicarius, and the best there's ever been.
He always talks in the first person as well. Yeah.
The third.
And he always like does like stupid stuff in the books, but then like Calgar in the books does mental stuff. Like in the in one of the Necron books, he picks up a Necron pylon and then uses that pylon to shoot other Necrons.
How big is this pylon?
Massive.
It's
like the size of a knight.
Oh, Calgar.
Calgar's I don't know.
He does stuff like that though. There was a comic book I saw where he just like yeeted himself onto a Lord of Skulls and ripped his head off.
Yeah, and it's like when one of the books, the versus Nids, he kills like 7 Swarm Lords. But then it's like, Dante can't kill one.
That's fair. But Dante wants to die.
Yeah,
he's like, please end it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been alive for quite a long time.
He's like over 1,000 years old or something.
Yeah, and what they keep doing now, and it does bug
better
me.
condition than Joe.
It bugs me slightly about one of the new rules, the law thing that they keep doing now because of the popularity. Basically, Dante was special because he was the oldest Space Marine. That's what kind of made him special.
Technically Bjorn,
he's
kind of dead.
But he's a Dreadnought. Dreadnought. Now Dante's not special because there's like loyalist Space Marines that were kind of around in the heresy, just popping up all over the place. Like in the law,
Oh, who?
They just keep bringing like a random side character. They're like, "Hey, I was around in heresy."
The only ones I can think of are the Risen people.
Technically, the Risen guys, right?
But they cheek as war.
Technically, all the first Primaris Marines.
Oh, I don't think that counts.
They were all alive during the heresy.
Yes, technically, but they were all like in their little pods or whatever, weren't they?
They were children that were kidnapped. They were like, we're going to take the entire lore from Halo and just put it into Warhammer.
But I mean, you do that quite a lot.
But there's like, I won't spoil it for people, but in the Belisarius Call and Fabulous Bile books, there's a couple of them just chilling around doing stuff. Yeah.
But I still think he's got the special thing of, I have literally just been alive for over 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Like no warp bullshit, no sleeping or whatever. Just been kicking ass for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And now I want to die.
They won't let him.
Thank you. That's got nothing to do with Kato Sicarius, but thanks, Zodiac.
We did talk about it.
Thank you, Big Bad Pig, Game for the 5. This is multi-part, right? Firstly, if you were to create a new evil character, what would it be and why? You do new evil character, Joe?
We could have a new, like a big demon character. Because I feel like most of the demons don't really do that much as a character.
Yeah. I think because the demons, like I said earlier, the demons suffer from the problem is that there's no real problem because if they die, they just come back.
Yeah.
That's their like biggest thing. What I would like to see is another Chaos Warlord.
Erebus.
That's not a named character existing, that is a threat to Abaddon.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Bit of a rivalry.
Right. Like in the Talon of Horus.
Who's the Red Corsairs leader guy?
Huron Blackheart.
I would like him to do more.
But I
realise he's already existent. But
he's already been like Abaddon to like here have a black. He keeps on just throwing gifts in.
He's like, please don't challenge
me. But then
Huron
Blackheart wants to die as well because he's just mainly robot now.
Yeah, I don't know what you do for a new. Is it specifically Chaos?
No, just as an evil character.
Right.
You could have a new like monumental character in Tyranids or
I'd
Orcs?
probably say not Chaos. I think there's enough big bads coming around in Chaos.
What I want...
A Tyranid one could be cool.
Yeah, so what I want is what the Norn Emissary should have been.
Do you not like the Norn Emissary?
I love the Norn Emissary, but when it came out, before we saw the rules, it was sold as like, this is your new big knight swarm like the Norn Emissary.
Because I remember in the little lore bit they did, they bodied like 7 custodians just like on their own.
And it's like, this is like the replacement for the Swarm Lord, right? He turns up, this guy is immense, like it's a bad time when one of these is on the table, kind of thing. And now they're kind of like, if you don't run 3, there's no point really putting them on the table, kind of thing. A new big scary Tyranid, because there's supposed to be a Tyranid planet, like a brain planet.
I think
the Hive. I'd imagine the Hive mind's a bit much, isn't it?
I think Orcs need more named characters.
Well, we've just lost Badrak and Zagstrok.
You lost exactly.
I think we essentially just have Gaz now.
But actually, so Gaz, narratively speaking, is quite terrifying because Gaz holds the potential, at least, to unite the Orc clans.
Yeah,
and it's the story goes that if Gaz was to ever actually successfully unite all Orc clans,
that's game over.
It's game over for everybody,
for literally everyone,
Tyranids included. I'd like another named Orc character, perhaps, who, because I think that what I like about Gaz, in terms of his model and his imagery and stuff, is he actually does look like quite an evil bastard.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at him, if you remove perhaps some of the stupid little Makari stuff that goes alongside.
Oh, I like Makari.
If you look at the way he's modelled his face, his fucking giant claw, the way he's depicted in the narrative. I've just downloaded the Beast Arises books.
Oh yeah.
To start that trilogy. He is quite a scary character, and I feel like Orcs, when they are these big, fucking 3 times the size of a human, twice the size of a space marine, will literally pull your arm out your socket. It's quite terrifying character.
Yeah,
I think that could be quite cool. Do something down that road.
Yeah, I guess the scariest Orcs have ever been is when, like, the Beast Arises, when a Krork had reappeared.
Yeah.
So maybe they could try and get a Krork in the picture somehow.
Yeah.
But that would just completely invalidate Gaz, I think, if one of them came back, because he'd just batter him into the floor pretty much.
You could bring back like a lieutenant for Gaz who helps him start to unite these clans together for somehow. I don't know. I always thought it was very sad that Captain Badrak and Zagstrok went, but Badrak himself
They're so cool.
He was a bit silly, kind of less evil.
He is literally a pirate orc.
Yeah, I'd much rather orcs go down the evil route than the
Mozrog I like a lot, and he hasn't really had much going on since he came into existence.
Yeah.
But also he does ride a squig that looks like a shark. So again, a little bit silly.
Yeah.
They could try and get one of the the Bad Moon clan people, the ones that think they're clever and are tactical.
Yeah.
To try and be one of the big bads or something. To like start hijacking Imperial ships.
What they need is a really smart grot character. Right, so if you look at the Gits for AOS, right?
Yeah.
You've got like the leader of them is just a big fat goblin on a giant wolf.
Isn't the wolf the actual leader though?
The wolf's the leader. So basically what happens is the grots keep on dying and he just grabs one, puts it on his back and is like, you're in charge now.
That's the same as Makari. He's died like 50 times, but they just grab another one each time.
Yeah, so I just like the idea that like there's like a really smart squig shark. You know
what I love,
just has like a little bunch of goobers on the back.
Tusker demon killer guy came out of the wolf with his corn orcs. I'd be down for that. Just all red orcs everywhere.
The second part of Peter's question is who's playing who and which armies are being used. Paddy's here tonight playing Joe.
Padwa.
Paddy's bringing Custodes. Joe is running.
I don't know.
There we go.
That's the problem.
You can choose if you super chat enough.
What we got? We got Raven Guard.
Not Guard because that was the last time they played Custodes.
Was it?
Yeah, not Guard.
Okay, so Raven Guard.
Tyranids,
Demons. Although Paddy's running Demons.
Very different demons.
He's running Zeech demons.
He's running Zeech demons, so I could run different demons.
CSM?
I can run CSM, although we played them last Thursday.
Week? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can run Dakari.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Harlequins, but I'm going to leave them for you.
If you want to run
Harlequins.
Blood Angels.
I'm probably running Harlequins on Thursday, though.
Or Blood Angels. Not run Blood Angels for a while.
That'd be interesting.
If you get to 60 gifted memberships, you can choose.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're on 17.
Yeah. I don't know what else I could do. I can run knights, but I don't like running knights is boring.
Yeah.
Knights are boring.
Yeah. They're boring to watch as well.
Yeah.
You ran Votan the other day.
I did. I quite like Votan.
Yeah.
They're quite fun.
And then he says, bombardment.
Bombardment.
Go on.
I was like, for the objective markers, obviously we're talking about the Tyranid one, the Lictor one. So we could do the one with the Death Strike on it and then have bombardment.
Lion Panther, thank you for the 10 and the yellow one. You're a hero. We're back in the X minutes to midnight part of the storyline where we are waiting for the Primarchs to return and everyone is edging, waiting for something to come. Wait,
I do love edging.
Shut it, Slanesh.
Yeah.
Dan's all in on Slanesh when it comes out as well, Mr. the Lion Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Talk about Thanes this morning.
Yeah.
I legit thought, straight up, you were into Emperor's Children.
No, I hate him.
Yeah, I thought
Just
you were
from
into
reading Fulgrim Angel Exterminatus.
I was legit concerned that when
Before we'd have a fight.
the Emperor's Children came out, Joe would be doing the channel Emperor's Children,
The
you'd be getting
playstyle-
Emperor's Children, Paddy'd be getting Emperor's Children.
I'd imagine the playstyle would be something I would be interested in,
Yeah.
just because I like fast melee armies. But I really fucking hate Fulgrim, I really fucking hate Lucius, and I just hate Slanesh in general. So it's not
I
happening.
love Lucius.
So
he's such a
the problem
prick.
is, but a lot of people hate Lucius, and
It's like Erebus.
I love Erebus.
because like
No,
Lucius.
don't get me wrong, these are great characters, but I hate them.
The problem about Lucius now is that he is a character that just really, really evokes terrible, lazy writing.
He's also a bit of a meme now.
So like if you kill me, if you have the slightest bit of pride in killing
If
me,
you come even a little bit.
it's like then I turn into you. So if you kill him and you're like, oh, thank God he's dead.
It's like
you
that
know,
one everyone always talks about, the landmine, where he got killed by a landmine, and the
Yeah.
guardsman felt a little bit of pride that his landmine did something,
Yeah.
and then just turns into Lucius.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, it's like he's just essentially like the version of Final Destination, isn't he? You know, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
and you can't
he is
stop
actually.
it.
He's literally Final Destination.
Yeah, how many different ways can we kill him?
Yeah.
and then he comes back, and everyone's like, what happens is that someone kills him, and then you just kill the person that killed him, you know, and then it's fine. I watched that Warhammer TV video they did of him where
Warhammer TV still exists,
they like a Judica kills him,
right?
and then his mate's like, oh, well done. He's like, oh, thank you, brother, you know, and then obviously he turns into him. But the thing is, like, people are like, oh, he's a really lazy fighter. So he's not a lazy fighter. He just knows that it doesn't matter if you kill him.
Yeah,
he always wins.
He doesn't really care that much.
Like before he could die, before he knew that he could die, he was a better character.
Yeah, I preferred his character before then, and I very much enjoyed it where Shadow Thingy
Shuriken
just shanked him.
Yeah.
And was like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm just going.
Yeah, I hate you.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we are in this weird X minutes to midnight part at the moment. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to be there for a while though.
Yeah,
I think that might just be it forever.
That might be 11th edition.
Because what's his name? Fulgrim's not going to be. Let's be completely honest. I don't think Fulgrim is going to be the last Primarch we see.
Oh God,
no, not a chance. It makes him too much money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally exactly that.
If I had to guess, I'd say there's a good chance Lehman Russ comes back this edition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally,
That's ballsy.
I'd say Lehman Russ.
I think that might be the
or Dawn.
I wouldn't say Dawn. I'd imagine the supplement Primarchs come back before then.
I reckon if they'd have planned to bring back Dawn, they'll cancel it just because Valrak.
Yeah, they're like, this guy has pissed us off so many times, so often.
Yeah.
We're just going to remove Imperial Fists.
And like you've got these weird things like happen in the background. So like at the start of in the Leviathan part of 10th edition, they were like the Tyranids are making a giant Tyranid planet and they're just filling it full of biomass because something's going to happen. Put that on pause. You know?
Maybe they're still doing it.
Yeah,
it might take a while to be fair.
it's like Abaddon's doing a thing. Put that on pause.
Well, Abaddon's with Vashdor now.
Yeah, and then
They're
there's like
messing about. And Perta Arbo being referenced in that story.
yeah, there's a bit where they've got what's called like Valdor.
Yeah, Valdor's doing some weird shit.
Valdor's doing stuff.
Valdor's made like a loyalist demon army.
Yeah.
Which is mental.
Yeah, it's an entire army of psychic gnolls with demons in them, and there's like clones of Sanguinius knocking around. And there's just
There's
all
a lot
this
of
mental
weird shit
stuff
going on that they can't really resolve.
Yeah, there's the stuff with like fabulous So Fabulous Bill now has the capacity to build Primaris Marines.
Yeah, he's trying to make the level up, isn't he? Like his weird
Primaris Marines.
Yeah. The most primary Primaris prime Marines you've ever seen.
And it's like...
they'll be 12 foot tall.
And
with 3 hearts!
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's 7 lungs.
Belisarius Cawl
penis.
Belisarius Cawl has all the stuff to make Primarchs.
Yeah. Well, he does what he wants, let's be honest.
Yeah,
he can just do anything.
He has all of the holy globules, to make a Primarch.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Joe. I don't mean to be the one who was looking at you. I'm struggling today.
Yeah, you do. You're a bit quiet today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's fine, mate.
And I get to go home tonight, so you lot can stream, and I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fun time.
No, I reckon I might be working
document.
past when you're working as well.
Yeah. Well, my job is entirely just to rig Joe secondaries.
Of course.
They should do. Just kill the Emperor.
Wow.
I'm actually not against that.
Because
I think it would be cool if he came back as like a god.
Well, so
he's a perpetual, isn't he?
He's a perpetual, yeah. So if the hilarious thing about the Emperor being on the throne is that they are slowly killing him but keeping him alive. Whereas if he died, he'd just come back.
That's
to life.
the thing. This is the worst time.
Yeah. But isn't it like if he dies in situ, the Golden Throne fails? And so it's holding back chaos.
Yeah. So essentially, the story is that him and the choir of the 1,000 psychers that he consumes every day,
the Astropathic
are powering the Astronomicon.
Yeah.
Right. But the problem is that Chaos knows, and Abaddon knows this, is that it's getting dimmer all the time, and that's why it's really hard to travel in a warp because the navigators can't see the beacon, so they're really struggling. So the idea is if he dies, the light goes out, and basically all chaos basically consumes the universe. Yeah. But there was like a really cool narrative where Cypher was on Terra because he went there with Guilliman. Right, because Cypher was like, "Oh, here's how you get onto Terra, by the way," and obviously he had the Lion Sword, which is the only sword capable of killing the Emperor.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And everyone was like, this could be really, really cool. And then they were like, oh, and then he ran away.
Yeah. That is Cypher.
Stop it.
It would be
Stop doing stuff like this.
I thought it would be cool if, like, I've completely forgot his Valdor realised that the only way to, like, save the Imperium was to actually kill the Emperor so that he could, like, come back as a better person or whatever. But then he'd have to essentially do the blood games with the Custodians, but it's just him doing it for real, so he can actually kill the Emperor.
There's a really good book. It's the Cypher book, actually, right? Cypher book where there's a bunch of Dark Angels break onto Terra to kill Cypher because he's held in the dungeons.
Of course.
Right, and they have to do some really shady shit to
Dark
get there.
Angels. And
it's a really, really good book. The Cypher is actually the worst part of it because the way that he's written and the guy that narrates it, he just comes across as a bit of an arse. But this is a really cool idea that the Dark Angels are killing civilians on Terra to try and get to him. It's great book. And I was like, I want more of this. I want like Custodes having to break onto Terra. You want Valdor having to break onto Terra to kill people.
I'd be really cool if Valdor did that.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Love it. Stick Monkey, thank you for the 5. He says, the reality is, like it or not, Chaos is the antagonist of the series.
Yeah.
And the Imperium are the protagonists. Ultimately, the antagonist never wins. But the thing is, it's not that linear, though, is it, Sean? Because we've also got the Xenos as well.
Yeah.
And I'd argue the Imperium's not even the good guys.
So in the specific Chaos versus Imperium, you do have antagonist, protagonist. I agree with Tom. Often, depending on your outlook, depends on who's the protagonist, who's the antagonist. And obviously, the way they write it is leading towards the Imperium being the protagonist, of course. But then when you mix the Xenos in, that relationship can change. So if you ended up with an orc warband attacking a World Eater's planet, the protagonist could become the World Eaters.
Yeah.
The antagonist could become the orcs.
I think everyone wins in that scenario.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the thing that
what you're saying. Like,
they never
because I think when Eldar are in the book and they're usually like the good guys.
Yeah.
Correct.
Chaos or Imperium.
Yeah.
However wrong that may be.
So many years ago, Games Workshop created the Cryptman Gambit.
What? Is this the guy that blew up all the planets?
So what happened, right, is that there was a hive fleet coming,
He is that guy, yeah.
right? And what he did is basically blow up a bunch of planets and then just diverted the Tyranids into Orc
He was like,
space.
if I kill them, they can't kill them.
Yeah, so it's basically... So what happened was is that his idea is that one kills the other, or they just stick in a perpetual fight, just killing each other and the Tyranids harvest all the Orcs, and the Orcs get stronger by killing Tyranids. But one will eventually kill the other. But so the downside is whoever wins ultimately comes out and just does everyone over because the Tyranids just end up with loads of biomass.
It's either like the biggest Tyranid hive fleet ever, or it's the biggest war there's ever been with the most Orcs possible.
And either version is brilliant. And they could have just done that and just gone, by the way, the Tyranids won. Here's a bunch of ginormous Tyranid bio-titans because they've fought Orcs for so long. Here's the unkillable rampagey Carnifex, Or they went, here are 10-foot tall turbo Orcs, which are just shredded and scarred. And they're all... And the law that I don't like is I always liked... But that Games Workshop don't do it, and it really disappoints me, is that the older and more ragged an orc is, like the darker their skin becomes. And Games Workshop are like, no, luminous green all the time.
I quite like
I want ragged old man orc, I want old man Wolverine orc.
That'd be cool.
Going around.
Into it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean, also for 5 more. The Death of Gabriel Seth, written that way as well.
Death, yeah.
A Warhammer poetry book by Joseph PSL Coles. Coming soon from Black Library.
Yeah.
Maybe he just went deaf and got lost.
I don't know what PSL means.
I imagine he's being rude.
Probably slightly lost.
I think the Tyranids might have won the Octarius War, from what people are saying.
Yeah, so basically the Octarius planet is
what
now...
What happened?
Basically,
is it just Tyranids?
It's just a giant brain planet now.
Of Tyranids?
Of Tyranids.
Oh, okay.
They're just filling it. They're just filling it with all the goo. So
all the goo.
All the goo.
Interesting strategy.
It is a strategy.
It's a bold strategy.
Yeah. Wee Man, thank you for the... Oh, by the way, did you know yesterday... Sorry, I'll get to you, Wee Man. Yesterday was the 18th birthday of Hot Fuzz.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt old at that point. I was like, oh, no.
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
18th birthday of Hot Fuzz yesterday, yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah. I sobbed for joy.
That is the best one of that group of films.
I do feel old now.
Yeah.
Well, you are old.
I am
If you,
old,
like us, chat, love Hot Fuzz, then think about doing what Wee Man did. Thank you, Wee Man, for the 5 gifted memberships.
Wee Man.
Yeah.
I hope, Wee Man, that your local shop is giving away boxes of the new Reese's Pieces like multi-bag, which has got like popcorn in it and pretzels, and they're all Reese's Pieces flavored.
Do you quite like Reese's Pieces, Joe? You talk about it quite a lot.
I don't think I've
never
ever
really
had
had
Reese's
it.
Pieces.
I love it.
What is it?
Peanut butter chocolate?
It's just peanut butter chocolate, basically.
Sounds good.
It's incredible, but the problem is you can have too much. Like one packet of Reese's Pieces
Hence the gout.
is enough.
No, it must be the alcohol.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You were really suffering after that night.
The Reese's Pieces is, if you buy like the big chocolate bars, you're like one and done. You can't eat, like, if you eat more than one, like, there's a Nutrageous bar, which they do is fucking gouge. I don't think I've ever finished one in a sitting.
Jesus, you as well.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing you on Bournemouth, I have some doubt.
Yeah. I tell you what, eating all that meat is easier than eating a Nutrageous bar.
I bet. Thank you anyway, Wee Man, for the 5 gifts. That's amazing. We're on 18 right now, chat. Is every streamer you, Joe?
Raising Rune Lords makes a point. When Chaos wins, the narrative progresses. When they lose, the status quo is just maintained.
Very true.
Yeah.
I love a Chaos win. It's much more interesting.
Yeah, well, it's like Batman, isn't it?
What?
So Warhammer has the Batman problem. The most boring thing about Batman universe is Batman, because all the bad guys are just better. They're just cooler, more interesting.
Actually, that's like with Superman. Best when Superman turns evil. That's the most fun.
Yeah, the best Superman is when he's evil and he becomes like a communist Superman or zombie Superman or
whenever he's not Superman.
Yeah, whenever he's not the good guy, he's
much less boring then.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never really watched Superman.
He's got
I've seen the Henry Cavill one.
Yeah, he's got 2 weaknesses: a rock from a planet
and penis,
right, and magic. So his 2 weaknesses: magic and a green rock.
Thank you, Leaks. Like magic, like what? Like
a Doctor Strange magic.
Oh,
so like in his universe,
not like Paul Daniels just tricks him.
No, so like in his universe,
is this your card?
Dang!
Oh no!
So like
sleight of hand, my one weakness.
Yeah, so like in the Superman universe, like there's this like you've got like a bunch of comedy tricksters that Batman punches in the face all the time, and Superman's like, no, a man in a top hat, you know, and it's just like, it's a rabbit.
Yeah. How is he doing this?
Yeah, it's so, it's just so stupid because it's like really cool. Like Constantine lives in the Superman.
Yeah, I like Constantine's cool.
There's a bunch of really cool characters in the DC universe that I wish they did. Like the Justice League's Dark is incredible because it's all about demons and evil, dark magic and stuff. And they're like, no, because that would be too boring. But what we will do is rewrite Batman 60 million times.
Superman's worse.
Superman's my favourite of the lot.
I don't know why, mate. He's so boring.
Just the pants, I think.
The only one
and a scarf.
A man in pants.
A man in pants and a cape. Oh.
Is it because of Henry Cavill?
Yeah. Santana, great character.
Constantine is really cool, to be fair.
Leaks Vigs, thank you for the 5. The Black Crusades being retconned as feints to achieve a larger goal was a great move by Games Workshop.
Yeah, they
made those failures and victories of chaos even more threatening.
Yeah, I love how before it was just he just fucked it up 12 times, but then they're like, hang on, it was all part of his secret plan.
Like my favourite Games Workshop game ever created needs to come back, which is Battlefleet Gothic.
That's your favourite?
It's the best game the Games Workshop ever made.
Is that the boat one?
Spaceships.
Yeah.
Spaceships, right? You just fly around. Spaceships.
That is cool.
It's like the guy from Lego. And it's a great game. And the whole base, it's all set around the Gothic sector during the Gothic War. You know, so, right? And it's basically how the Black Legion and Chaos as a whole gets most of its ships for its fleets and stuff. And it's just an incredible game. And it's great fun, unless someone plays Necrons, and then it's the worst game ever you played.
Why?
Because Necrons were just turbo.
That's cool.
Like, because the Necron spaceships in the lore are terrifying. Like, they just they're just like, laser, dead, laser, dead, laser, dead. And unfortunately, Battlefleet Gothic was quite representative of the lore.
It was accurate. It was lore accurate.
Like, one person turns up with a harvester ship, and you're like...
Did orcs have anything?
Yeah.
Was it bad?
Yeah, so basically they
I'd imagine it wasn't good.
Massive ships. They had Q ships, which like the ones that float in and then just explode, right? And then they had ramming ships.
Yes,
right, which is like a spaceship with like a big munchy face on the front. And they also had
was this 40k or 30k?
40k.
Okay.
And they also had like battle
my concern if they ever brought back Battlefleet Gothic is that they would 30k it. They would go down the Legions Imperialis.
That's the thing is that if they do bring it back, they will do it because they're lazy. Because they're like, how do we get people into a game?
The easiest way to sell this is only have 4 models.
But the greatness of Battlefleet Gothic was the fact that the Imperium had multiple different styles of ships.
Eldar dumb as well?
Quite, because
have they ever made a game system where the elves aren't dumb?
No, so they were super fragile, right? But they were.
I'm sure, yeah.
But the thing is that they're kind of like how they are now, in a sense that they were super agile. Their guns were good, but if you managed to shoot them, they just die. Yeah. But there was a special mechanic that no one ever really used, unless you were an Eldar player, because only where your army functioned, is that you could have planets and you could have a sun on the planet, and no one cared about, because the sun had some rules, but everyone hated the sun because it was just a really annoying thing. But if Eldar were playing Battlefleet Gothic, their owners would always insist that there was a sun, because what happened was if there was a sun, if they travelled towards it or across it, their ships move double speed because like sonar paddle.
You can slingshot around the sun,
and you could use the gravity to just go whoop around it. It was annoying. Tower were cool because their torpedoes were drones, so you could actually turn them slightly when you shot them. Great game.
I can imagine Tower would be quite good,
and it was all done in centimeters.
It does. Okay, so it does sound pretty cool.
It's like, mate.
If you could play as World Eaters with the Conqueror, I'd be in.
You could do a World Eaters fleet and just go around.
Can they have
everyone.
Ursa claws?
You could do boarding actions and stuff. Yeah,
I want to fire the Ursa claws.
Yeah, you can just shout that.
Okay,
because you can have like boarding.
I'll be that guy.
And things, and there were rules for boardings as well. And obviously, if you had Space Marines, you just won.
Yeah, because the Space Marines.
Yeah,
fair enough. I can't imagine the Tower doing well on that bit.
Ockendor, thank you for the 2.
Leo was trying to move us along.
They go full Viking. Where does that leave Votan?
Votan are not Viking. They just have some runes.
Votan are space dwarfs.
They're not even. They're not. Because I get what you're saying. It's like old world dwarves are basically Vikings but short.
I got excited about space dwarfs. They're not really space dwarfs.
No, if Votan were like old world dwarves but 40k, I'd be 100% in. I'd have a full army and everything. But they're not really like that. They're much more shooty. They're more like Tau, honestly.
I think Votan suffer from the fact that Guard and Space Marines exist. Because they had to create a faction that was kind of like both of them, but different to both of them.
Yeah, like I like Votan.
They've just done this really weird route, though. Like, aesthetically, it's like we're going to do dwarfs. They're going to be miners, but actually, Gene Stealer cults already do the miners thing quite well.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you weird moon buggies, which you'd never mine within it, but mining lasers.
I'm not a massive fan of the vehicles aesthetic, to be honest.
I think they should have gone down more of the steampunk route with them, but also like what I find. Like they had top hats with goggles on, that kind of weird shit. But
I actually like the Jaegers.
Yeah,
they actually look really cool.
Yeah, the trench coats and soft caps.
They look like Blade Runner.
And what's hilarious is that the Necromunda squats look more like Votan than Votan.
I'd agree with that.
Like their stuff is more representative of what you would expect from a spacefaring dwarf fleet. With actual miners and the big domes, like big proper old school spacesuits.
Yeah, so, I wish they had either full leaned into the mining thing, or they'd full leaned into the like old world runes and grudges thing.
I'll tell you what,
they kind of did a weird in between, which I didn't really like that much.
Agree,
because I was pretty hyped on them when they got announced. Yeah, even though they did it on April 1st.
Votan though are incredibly satisfying to paint.
Really?
I hated them. I hated them before we got them. I didn't like the rules because they were mental. I didn't like that the Games Workshop is essentially just kind of jammed this army into the game. They're like, you are having this. It is happening.
Yeah.
But then when I got them and built them and painted them, I was like, oh, actually, they're not horrible models they're enjoyable models to use.
You love the exoframe.
Oh, the exoframe stuff's cool. They're like what Centurions should be.
Yeah, true.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wish that they hadn't spent time and effort doing Votan and just used that to develop other armies instead.
I don't know. I am glad they exist because they're a cool army, and I think they could expand on it in cool ways.
Yeah.
But they are in desperate need of more units and more lore because they have literally one book, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
And I've not read it.
Votan are one of those where I think I'm inclined to agree to a point. They could have just put all that time and effort into resetting old kits for other factions, strengthening those.
Yeah,
it's one of these weird things, isn't it? What's gonna? I think arguably what you could say is what makes more money for Games Workshop, replacing a kit like Storm Boys, or bringing out a new faction of Space Dwarfs. Well, it's going to be the latter one almost always.
I don't know.
No, I think it will. I think it'll always be the latter.
Maybe. I'd love to know like.
Because if you bring out new Storm Boys, right? Most Orc players are going to be buying maybe 3-4 boxes max, probably, right? But you bring out a new faction that's got 6 units in it. Most players,
but like, if you did the same number of units but replaced it in Orc, say,
okay, so maybe
that's what I might say. It'd be kind of maybe similar because I'd imagine having already fans of an army and bring out new units for that army is potentially more reliable than bring out a whole new army.
Well, the other thing as well is everyone got excited because of squats, but they're not squats.
Yeah.
They're not even remotely close.
Where's the land trade?
Let's be honest. The only reason people bought them is that their rules got leaked accidentally on purpose, and their rules were mental.
Well, there's a couple of people that I used to know.
People do like them, though.
There's a couple of people that used to know up at Factorum. One guy's name escapes me. Was it Tim? I think it was Tim, who was a huge Votan fan.
Yeah.
Just fucking loved Votan.
Yeah.
And he's every event he ever went to, he bought Votan.
Yeah.
So some people did just like them.
Yeah, there's going to be some people, but I remember a lot of people were like, once they changed the rules to be less broken, people were like, I just return them for a refund. You know, I just want to sell them. I don't want them now. They're like,
I like Votan as an army personally. I like them. I just think they need more stuff.
Yeah, I think like, last time Games Workshop introduced a full range of new army was ages ago, and it was Tau. But I feel like that was handled better because it was just a bit more.
Was Tau
embedded.
the last one before that?
Yeah.
What about GSC?
Yeah, they were before. They were after Tau.
They were after Tau, but they existed in the game before. So GT the Cult had already existed. Okay. Whereas Tau
they're
were
just
like,
part of the Tyranids lore.
They're part of the Tyranids lore. Like they had loads of stories, they had loads of stuff. Whereas Tau were just like, a warp storm has ended. There's a planet there, and it's filled with strange blue
weird
people.
Fish cows.
Yeah.
Leagues, thank you for the 2. GW gave the Norse stuff to Votan. Space Wolf are furries now. Again, I don't think they did give Norse stuff to Votan.
They gave them runes on some of their stuff, but it's not enough to be like
they're not
Vikings.
No.
There's a bit of a Viking vibe, but I think that's just like a follow-on from the old world.
Yeah, it was like when you type into AI, can I have vote like Norse-ish space marines, please?
Short space marines with some runes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just very middle of the road.
But then, I'd say Space Wolves definitely have more of the Viking stuff with like the beards, the axes, the magic runes, and like the wolf stuff is quite Viking as well.
The Heresy range did it better, I think.
I've not really seen it much.
The Heresy range was like, these are Norse, Viking, barbarian warriors.
Yeah, I mean, I've read some of this stuff about them in the Heresy. They're way more cool.
Some of the accents that the audible readers, the narrators,
some good stuff there.
Great.
But I also really like Logan Grimnar. He's really cool.
We're going to say a quick thank you to Ockigdor. I know you did last roll, Evan and Brian Garrett for 1 gifted each.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also say a big thank you to Dreadnoughty for the 5 gifted memberships.
I hope that there's a flood in your local area, right, and your house goes completely untouched, but everyone that you hate that lives nearby you, their houses are just ruined.
Strong.
Yeah. I like that.
When you started, but your houses, I was like, don't turn the water, mate. It's just not a strong start.
I honestly thought you were going to say like a shark comes to live with you and it becomes your best friend. Yeah. Because that's like the standard, isn't it? Yeah. But also your house is flooded.
Yeah, but that's how you become that orc character.
The what? Mozrog.
Yeah,
Mozrog. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then you just become Mozrog, human man.
We need more shark squigs, I think.
That puts us
really badly want to do that.
That puts us on 19 members, chat.
Only
what
19?
have you done, Joe?
Have you what have you been saying in the Only Ask Joe thing that set them off?
Yeah.
We're 15 minutes over schedule and we're not even halfway. We normally at least get to halfway.
I just put my personal address in there and just said send notes to my house. Yeah, bearer bonds.
Yeah. Christian, thank you for the 5. YouTube will not let me change my sub level on my phone. They can pound sand. I will upgrade when I can. Should I run the Shining Spears? Is 1-6-2-3s. 2 3s, always.
Yeah.
2 3s. The thing is with New Eldar is a lot of the stratagems don't really benefit a big unit. There's a couple that do, don't get me wrong. For example, like you can put sustained hits on a unit if they're within 12 inches. Cool. And you want a big unit for that. But a lot of them don't really benefit big units. And Eldar, you're going to master Eldar the most at the moment with the new book if you master the trading game. And you master the trading game if you have more tradable units. With new Shining Spears being able to fly through walls, you can hide them behind ruins and terrain. You commit a unit, you perhaps kill what you're going after, and then it dies. And it will probably die. And then you can commit your other unit and kill the next thing. If you have a unit of 6, you commit the unit of 6, you kill the thing you go after, and then that unit dies.
Yeah.
And you haven't got another one in reserve. So I would always go 2-3s.
I think Eldar min units just trade up really well.
Eldar min units trade up very well.
And anything, if you double the size of the base unit, you just overkill everything, and then
most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
The only one I'd probably go big squad with is the Fire Dragons with Fugan, because it can go back, it can get back in the thing.
Yeah,
that's why.
If you I would 10 man a Fire Dragon unit with Fugan for a couple of reasons. You get 18-inch melters on the whole unit at that point. You can still split fire.
Yeah, firing. That's like the one time I would 100% split fire.
You put the Exarch with 4 into one thing, Fugan the other 5 into the other thing. You can spend the CP to give them sustained on 6s. I honestly,
you'll kill like 3 Rogal Dawns.
That's the unit that you 100%.
And then you just go back in the transport, lads. We're safe.
And that's the other reason why going big on that squad is important, because then the one battle focus move or the one CP strat gets
effective.
all 11 of them into the transport. Yeah. Again, that's not going to be super impactful for your Shining Spears, so you definitely want to run 2 uses of 3 Shining Spears. It also means that for things like behind enemy lines or engage on all fronts or containment, 2 units of 3 is significantly more useful for getting into those different areas.
Yeah,
so that's where you want to go, always, every time. Archignor, thank you for the $5. When is the Great Hall starting a library where members can borrow books? If I could, I would. That'd be great.
I wouldn't do it.
Because they wouldn't be read to you.
No. It's just I don't own many Black Library books anymore, because what's happened is I lend them to people and never get them back. And then...
Well, you weren't reading them anyway because you'd be asleep.
I used to read a lot, actually. And then I just stopped.
Forgot how.
I just forgot how. And it's now the amount of times I've lent out books and just never got them back. And also I don't want to tar everyone with the same brush, and then people like it's not me, but like some people just don't respect stuff. I'm the kind of person that if I lent someone a book and they tore a page, right, even though I know that's something that could happen, it would still piss me off.
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's Brom. So I know for a fact, me and Brom have, how old am I now? 38. So me and Brom have known each other for 25 years.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way he ever intended to rip my limited edition codex.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why the main Eldar codex is now in the studio. My limited edition one's not coming out of my house.
And it's like, and if you're going to lend out books, you're not going to buy the limited edition Primarch novels and in the Death sexy brown leather ones. You're not going to lend those out, are you?
No.
So if you're in a situation where you want to lend out books, you have to buy 2 of everything, because you want to buy 1 in a softback for someone to read and probably never bring back. It just...
Yeah. It's a great idea, though.
It's a good idea. If people in the Great Hall wanted to trade with each other, that's fine, but don't get upset if it never
You can
comes
also
back.
join the Thanes Book Club.
Yeah.
Or just use Audible.
Live Panel, thank you for the 5. Nothing is worse for a character's credibility than being able to regenerate, come back from the dead. Then you can job for people? That's what it says, isn't it?
Job for people.
Then maybe
you can
meant die for people.
The problem is, the issue with anything like perpetuals or whatever, or people that can come back to life, or people like Lucius, is that the reader or listener, the person consuming the narrative, I feel like starts to lose investment in that character.
Yeah.
You both alluded to earlier. You said Lucius was better before he knew that he could die.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then it was on and the reader also not knowing that was a possibility. It keeps you on a knife edge. Yeah. So what shows like Lord of the Rings or Walking Dead do very, very well is in the first cut of the series, important characters die.
Yeah.
Which means that for the next 10 series, even if for 5 series nothing really happens, you're going, one of them still could die.
Yeah.
Because they set precedent really early on. Now, with someone like Lucius, or perhaps the Emperor if he's perpetual, whatever, if they do say, well, he dies, just comes back to life, you lose. I feel like you lose investment in that character.
Yeah, I think what's more important with the death of the Emperor is that the consequences that are attached to it.
No, of course. But any character, let's take Lucius as the case in point, then let's ignore the Emperor for a moment. Like, when people pick a favourite character in any narrative story or whatever, they become invested in that character. They want to see that character do well. They want to see that character overcome any of their adversities. And they really care. And when that character is written into a really dangerous situational position, the reader or listener or viewer, if you're watching a show, I feel gets nervous.
Yeah. Lion Palace says job is a wrestling term for a wrestler who gets beaten to make other wrestlers look good.
I thought that was heels.
Oh, right,
No,
right, okay.
heels are the good guys that then come back bad.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah.
But like when you watch a Walking Dead. Yeah. And you're watching Michonne or whatever one of your favourite characters was, and she's in a situation surrounded by walkers. People get nervous. It's my favourite character, and because of what's happened previously in the series, she could die here.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember there was that huge cliffhanger when Negan first showed up?
Yeah,
where he'd beaten someone to death off camera. But like no one knew who had actually died. And it was like 3 months of people being like, "Oh my god, who's dead? Who's dead?"
You know what really bugs me when shows do it is when they kill a character and then they're in like 3 episodes after because they do like what happened before,
the flashback type stuff.
Flashbacks. Yeah. So like in The Walking Dead, one of my favourite characters that was really well utilised, and then he kind of just became a background character, and then they killed him off, I guess because of money or disagreements, whatever. Was the Jesus character?
Oh yeah,
the guy with the long hair that was just going around just karate kicking everything.
That was weird.
He was really cool, and then but then when he died, I was like, oh shit, because that's when they brought in the Whisperers, and it was like, this is actually quite a terrifying baddie that they brought into it.
Yeah,
right. And
he got done by the Whisper people, didn't he?
Yeah. He got stabbed. That's how they discovered it. But then. And I was like, and that shocked me when he died. I was like,
well, that moment when Negan was one of those as well.
That was huge. That was
Luce and I, back then, Luce and I were up to date with the series as they were coming out.
Same.
And when he hits with Lucille and then it ends, because we knew, having watched that series, that actually any one of those characters could have been the one that he battered, and that is brilliant writing. With Lucius, the second you get to the point where anyone who feels any kind of pride, he just takes them over. You're like, well, so he's just never gonna I love Lucius. I'm desperate for that model for a painting project.
I think he's a good character, but there is definitely a problem with that.
It's flawed, right?
Yeah.
It's the same to some extent with the demon Primarchs.
I'm less bothered by the demon Primarchs because there is a way to kill them with the funny fire sword or whatever.
What Games Workshop need to do,
and it also takes them a while to come back. And there's rules for them; they can't go certain places.
What Games Workshop need to do is do a Negan episode with Abaddon, and then and then he somehow captured Dante, Calgar, and
he's
and
got
Ragnar.
every chapter master.
He's got 3 chapter masters. He kills.
And he's got
one.
a bat.
Yeah.
And
right, he's captured them, and he does a speech, and he kills one.
He's
of them.
monologuing.
He's monologuing, and he kills one of them, and that's the cliffhanger for the Warhammer Plus. And then that'd probably be like the most watched Warhammer Plus episode ever.
Yeah,
like you have an episode where there's a situation where they're fighting to each other, and they
capture
capture him, and then there's a good solid monologue episode where he kills one at the end, but you don't know who. And then you just leave it for a couple of months, and everyone's like, And then Games Workshop releases a dead Ragnar Black main model.
Why is it Ragnar? He's not even a chapter master.
Brom likes him.
He's just a guy.
Bugs
Brom fucking loves.
Yeah,
I like Ragnar.
Yeah,
I want to take the Space Wolves.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brom has a body pillow of Ragnar Black.
He's really cool though.
Furry ears.
And he's one of the guys where it's like Viking aesthetic nailed. What a model!
They need to base all future Space Wolves things off Ragnar.
100%.
He's my favourite Space Marine model, probably.
Also,
I'm inclined to agree. Actually,
like honestly, he might be.
Who?
Ragnar.
Yeah. Also, wolf helmets in the bin, please.
Yeah, I don't like them. I've seen the Heresy ones. They can fuck.
They've never done a good wolf helmet.
They're so dumb.
Agree with you. Awful Gamer, thank you for the 5. How would you feel if Terra was destroyed? Would the narrative still work? Also, iPhone predictive text on YouTube needs to do one. Have you ever tried to super chat with an iPhone?
I've heard about it now.
You won't have done because you haven't got an iPhone. Super chat with an iPhone is the hardest job.
Steve tried it the other day. It took him like 40 minutes.
The problem with destroying Terra is that it is the home of the Astronomicon, which basically stops.
I don't think they should destroy Terra, personally.
I would like them to destroy the moon.
I think they should destroy Titan.
Earth doesn't have water anymore, so it doesn't matter if the moon destroys.
What's on the moon that's interesting?
There was.
It's not the Grey Knight,
massive
is it?
cheese.
True.
Though the Titan. I'd carry on talking, then I realised what you said.
That'll upset Mikey.
No, Mikey needs to watch out for
you with a brick,
because we're just going to be to the nines in.
Didn't someone send him like a Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, Steve sent him.
What fucking hero?
No, the Grey Knights live on Titan.
I'd be kind of cool if they destroy Titan.
Yeah, destroy a planet in the solar system.
Or Mars.
Mars is where the Admech live. That would be cool.
That would be
because the Admech can go and live somewhere else.
Because they don't. But isn't the Void Dragon in?
The
Mars
Void Dragon lives in Mars as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a flat. Yeah.
It's a costly investment.
Right.
Yeah. That would be cool if the Void Dragon. If Abaddon destroys Mars, Void Dragon escapes. Great narrative arc.
That'd be good fun.
Be mad good.
That'd be cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah.
Brandon, like I say, thank you for the 5 gift memberships.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep.
I hope that you you find a great new combination of mixing McDonald's main and pudding that's so incredibly delicious that McDonald's take it on as a viable menu option and they give you a cut of the money.
I'll rate that a lot.
Huge
Actually.
hope.
Brandon does a lot for us.
What's
He
your?
does.
Out of interest, what is your combo?
Like if he was like, I don't know, apple pie and katsu curry wrap, you know?
I didn't think you'd go that way.
I don't know.
That was no right.
No,
Yeah.
Joe, I'm asking like, what is your go-to?
I'm gonna go to
thing?
McDonald's.
Yeah, not just what weird shit.
A big
to put together.
if the big tasty is available, I will have
Yeah.
it. One thing, never try and eat a big tasty and drive. That's off the table. That's not an option. I tried it once. It ended terribly. It was so bad. All right, I had to just throw it out the window. I just full gave up on it because it was like all over my hands, my arms, down me, in my beard.
Oh, so you mean like
just
while driving, eating it?
Yeah, don't try and drive and eat at the same. If someone
Could
else
you
is
eat it
driving,
and then drive.
you can eat and then drive.
Yeah.
Just don't combine the two. It's just bad. But if the Big Tasty is available, always go Big Tasty.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's not, I just tend to go Big Mac. You know, sometimes if I'm feeling a bit fancy, might go Select.
Thank you, Cotton D, for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Kato D.
That finishes us on 30. You lads have got some work to do tonight. It's 170 to get out of chat.
I hope that
Well, Paddy's coming, so we can sell him.
the roof of your local tropical bird sanctuary is damaged and they all just come and live in your garden.
He hopes you've got bird shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a Big Tasty, Christian, is it's a big burger that's delicious. It's tasty, you would almost say.
Yeah, that's us for
And the sauce on
a
it,
2-hour Liam, Joe and Tom show. Talk about narrative stuff as well. Look, barely touched on tabletop shit, which is quite fun and interesting.
Maybe
for a
that's
change.
why they don't want it to give any money.
Well, people are very engaged though.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah,
engagement
it's-
today.
Interestingly, talking about things
February-
that are interesting and exciting, people don't like. They don't support you. Talking about competitive, they're not great at
Oh
supporting.
yeah, they do. No,
Talking
do, though,
about
to be fair to them.
controversial stuff and arguing, they love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it.
The support is
Everyone
always
loves the
amazing.
drama.
Yeah.
But it is February. February is historically probably the worst for YouTube ever.
Yeah.
And this month, like, all my arrows are green. All my arrows are green, apart from revenue, which is not.
Yeah.
But it's fine. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on the Liam Tom Joe Show. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please make sure you smash that like button before you disappear. And then you can stick comments on the show after the fact if you've got opinions as well as to why can't Chaos ever win? Why do they always seem to lose? And things that perhaps you'd like to see as well be super interesting. Tonight there's a live game of Warhammer 40k that, although I'm going to set up for right now, I'm not going to be involved in because I've got something else to do. I've got work to do, unfortunately. And so Mr. the Joe and Mr. the Tom and Mr. the Paddy will be your custodians this evening. They will look after you. It is Joe versus Paddy. It is custodies versus something Joe's not yet decided on, but he needs to decide pretty quickly because I've got to make all the lists and go home. Yeah. And then you will have a live game of Warhammer 2,000 points, Warhammer 40k this evening to enjoy yourselves with. And you can abuse them all. Only 170 member goal tonight then, Joe, all right? Otherwise, I'll struggle to pay you at the end of the month. And then, tomorrow night, we come back with the Warhammer show, 7:30. There is no Liam and Joe show on Thursday, but there will be a show, because Joe is at home doing things to his dog. Thursday evening, me and Paddy and Brom will entertain you. And then Friday, we come back with 40k After Dark.
This is away Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All spoons with dog.
Yeah. So Joe on Wednesday, Joe's Joe's partner leaves, and then he's going to be literally flat naked for 3 days.
Yeah.
Because she's not there to clean. She's not there to clean his clothes or wipe his backside, so he can't come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking of which, we need to go get loo roll now before I go home. Otherwise, I'll forget, and then you'll be. I know what you're like. You'll just scooch along the carpet. You people have been amazing. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the show. Hopefully, we see you tonight. If not, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
Bye.